Have you ever met someone who seemed to be in a constant state of sexual exploration? Someone who, no matter how many partners they had, always felt a compelling need to seek out more. This insatiable desire can be more than just a personal dilemma. It can become a full-blown addiction. In this video, we're going to dive deep into something that often gets overlooked: sex addiction. If you've ever wondered what might lie beneath the surface of someone's compulsive sexual behavior, or perhaps you've found yourself questioning your own patterns, then this video is for you. We will be exploring what sex addiction truly is, its signs, symptoms, and the underlying causes that drive it. But before we delve into these complexities, we want to emphasize that our intention is not to shame or stigmatize anyone. Our goal is to shed light on this misunderstood subject with empathy and understanding. So what is sex addiction? Sex addiction, also known as hypersexuality, is a condition marked by an uncontrollable and often obsessive desire for sexual gratification. But it's not just about having a strong sex drive. It involves a pattern of sexual behaviors that begin to dominate a person's thoughts and actions compulsively. Imagine a life where every waking moment is consumed by sexual urges, where thoughts of sex intrude relentlessly, and where one's entire focus revolves around seeking sexual experiences. That's the kind of world someone struggling with sex addiction has to navigate daily. It's important to distinguish between a healthy interest in sex and a problematic relationship with it. While everyone has different sexual desires and engaging in sexual activity is normal and healthy, sex addiction goes beyond that. People who are sex addicted often find themselves unable to control their sexual behaviors despite negative consequences in their lives. They might prioritize sex over important responsibilities like work, school, or relationships, and may engage in risky sexual behaviors without considering the emotional or physical risks involved. Now let's explore some of the signs and symptoms of sex addiction. These signs can manifest in various ways, making it crucial to be observant and seek help if you or someone you know is displaying them. One of the key signs of sex addiction is a preoccupation with sexual thoughts. Imagine someone who constantly finds themselves thinking about sex, even when it's inappropriate or unwanted. These intrusive thoughts can be distressing and can significantly impact a person's daily functioning. Another sign is compulsive sexual behaviors. This means engaging in sexual activities in a repetitive and uncontrolled manner, despite knowing that these behaviors might be harmful. Individuals with sex addiction find themselves compelled to continue. For example, they might spend excessive amounts of time and money on pornography, engage in risky sexual encounters, or frequent sex with numerous partners. But it doesn't end there. The emotional toll of sex addiction can lead to feelings of guilt and shame. Many individuals who struggle with sex addiction report experiencing intense feelings of remorse and self-blame after engaging in compulsive sexual behaviors. These emotions can contribute to a cycle of secrecy and isolation, as the person tries to hide their addiction from others. Furthermore, another sign of sex addiction is the inability to control sexual behaviors. Unlike those who can exercise restraint and moderation, people with sex addiction find it nearly impossible to stop once they start. They might make repeated attempts to cut back or quit, but these efforts are often unsuccessful, leading to a sense of helplessness and frustration. And lastly, another sign to look out for is the neglect of responsibilities. Sex addiction can cast such a consuming shadow that it begins to eclipse a person's priorities. As the addiction takes hold, individuals may start to neglect their duties at work, school, or within their families. Deadlines are missed, grades slip, and relationships suffer as the primary focus shifts entirely to sexual pursuits. Recognizing these signs is the first step towards seeking help and finding a way out of the cycle of sex addiction. What drives someone to seek solace in the arms of so many different partners? Why does the satisfaction of one encounter quickly fade, leaving an insatiable craving for the next? To understand sex addiction, we must delve into the intricate web of psychological factors that serve as its driving force. One of the primary factors contributing to sex addiction is early exposure to pornography. In today's digital age, pornography is more accessible than ever before. However, when individuals, especially adolescents, are exposed to explicit content at a young age, it can normalize sexual behaviors that might otherwise be considered taboo. This early exposure can create a distorted view of sex and relationships, making it challenging to form healthy connections later in life. Another factor that can play a role is a history of sexual abuse. For individuals who have experienced sexual abuse in the past, it can have a profound and lasting impact. The trauma of abuse can lead to a range of emotional and psychological consequences. including difficulties forming intimate relationships, body image issues, and emotional detachment. Some might turn to sex as a way to cope with the pain of their past, while others might develop a fear or aversion to sex altogether. Moving on, let's talk about the impact of low self-esteem. When someone struggles with low self-esteem, they might use sex as a way to boost their self-image. Each sexual encounter can temporarily elevate their self-worth, giving them a sense of desirability and validation. However, this is a short-lived solution to a deeper emotional issue, and can lead to a cycle of continuously seeking external validation through sex. Another significant factor is the desire for intimacy. The need for physical and emotional connection is a fundamental human longing. However, for those who are sex addicted, the desire for intimacy can become distorted. They might jump from one sexual encounter to the next in search of that closeness. But because of the superficial nature of these relationships, they never truly feel satisfied. Last but certainly not least, a lack of emotional control plays a part here as well. Individuals who struggle with sex addiction often have difficulty managing their emotions effectively. When faced with stress, anxiety, or boredom, they might impulsively turn to sex as a way to escape these negative feelings. Without the emotional tools to cope, sex becomes a crutch, a quick fix that offers temporary relief from the complexities of everyday life. Understanding these factors is crucial not just for those who are struggling with sex addiction, but for those who care about someone who might be affected by it. It's a reminder that behind every addiction lies a story of pain, trauma, coping mechanisms, and a desperate search for solace. Breaking free from the chains of sex addiction is a journey that requires immense strength, self-awareness, and professional guidance. While the path to recovery might seem daunting, it is undoubtedly possible. One of the initial steps towards recovery is acknowledging the problem. This can be one of the toughest parts, as sex addiction often carries a heavy dose of shame and guilt. But until someone is willing to admit there is a problem, the first step towards recovery cannot be taken. Honesty, both with oneself and with loved ones, is essential in beginning this journey. Next comes the process of seeking professional help. Therapy plays a pivotal role in helping individuals understand the root causes of their sex addiction and develop healthier coping mechanisms. Cognitive behavioral therapy, for example, has been shown to be effective in treating sex addiction by addressing the underlying thought patterns and behaviors that contribute to it. Moreover, support groups can provide a safe space for individuals to share their experiences and learn from others who are going through similar challenges. Sharing stories and coping strategies can be incredibly therapeutic and can help individuals feel less alone in their struggles. Another crucial aspect of recovery is building a strong support system. This might involve reaching out to trusted friends and family members or joining support groups where individuals can connect with others who understand what they're going through. Building these connections can create a network of understanding and support, helping individuals stay accountable and motivated on their journey to recovery. As part of the healing process, it's also important to develop healthy coping mechanisms. These could include mindfulness and meditation practices, journaling, or engaging in hobbies and activities that bring joy. By learning to manage stress and negative emotions in healthier ways, individuals can reduce their reliance on sex as a coping mechanism. Finally, practicing self-compassion is an essential part of breaking free from any addiction. It's important to remember that addiction is a form of coping, a maladaptive strategy to deal with underlying emotional pain or mental health issues. By treating oneself with kindness and understanding, individuals can foster a supportive inner dialogue that encourages growth and healing rather than judgment and self-criticism. Overcoming sex addiction is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. It's a journey that demands courage, vulnerability, and an unwavering commitment to personal growth. While the road to recovery might be fraught with challenges, the destination, a life lived authentically and healthily, makes it all worthwhile. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to show your support. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to continue creating insightful content on psychology and mental health. If you have any thoughts, comments, or experiences you'd like to share, please leave them below. We encourage an open dialogue and would love to hear from you. Until next time, take care and thanks for watching.